You'll be amazed. Some of my most viral moments, I've actually heard from the women, either directly or indirectly, who have been at the center of these things, and it's been pretty much unanimous. You know what? I needed to hear that.
That's right. That's right. It's your boy, Kevin Samuels. What's going on, Kevin?
What's going on, guys? How we doing tonight?
What up,
man?
What's up, Kevin?
Blessings. Good. Thanks for having me on for a second.
Absolutely, man. Listen, man, the kitchen is still hot after you cooked. After you cooked, what's her face? What's the aftermath been like?
It's been well, personally, it's been pretty good. I will say that a lot of my critics and detractors tend to think, well, you only go after black women and and that shows the fact that I keep the same kind of talking points for anybody who wants to challenge what we're saying over here. I think it's been very well received, and I honestly think it's going to change the conversation for the next 90 days, honestly.
Why do you think? Because I think black women know, or at least I would think that they would know, that you don't just, like, you treat everybody fairly. And it was clear that faithful, what was it, Wednesday or Thursday night, you kept that same energy. The talking points were the same. The energy were the same. Do you think that the quote unquote black community is going to give Kevin Samuel, okay, listen, man, he goes after black women, but guess what? He treats the white girls the same way too. Or are they just going to say, well, this was just a one-off?
They can say what they want to, but the work it shows itself. See, that's the problem. Many of these folks who are my detractors are trying to find all kind of things that have a hint of truth, but if you just do a little bit of watching yourself, you'll see the truth. And that's where we're kind of at right now. I think that's a great lead into the broadcast.
Yeah.
Look, extremes on either side are extremes that I don't want to deal with. It's the people in the middle who are at least willing to have the conversation about the subject. Then where can we go? That's what I think is going to happen. What I think happened was because I'm on another platform. I'm talking to a group of people who I really don't have any, previous interaction with, but it's the same issue. It's this Western feminist, womanist, we don't need men, that's creeped into Western civilization that's rotting us from the inside.
It's good that you treated her exactly the same way. And guess what, Kevin? She reacted exactly the same way. Yeah, and it was funny because Deb was like, did Myron go and talk her back onto the studio? I said, no, Myron didn't chase her down. He was talking to Chris about something. He didn't give a fuck about her. Fuck that.
I sweet talked her back to come back on.
Oh, you did?
Come back on.
Yeah, he did. And by the way, Kevin, she says she would do a one-on-one with you after the show. She's like, you know what?
Yeah.
I need his guidance. After the show, she said that.
There's
see, that's also kind of what I want to get to. We all have opinions, and we get a chance to sharpen our steel with each other.
Right.
But oftentimes women don't have a chance to really even hear these kind of things, much less be challenged on them, because most folks will kind of demur or go away. So it's an unfamiliar experience with a lot of women. Like, you'll be amazed. Some of my most viral moments, I've actually heard from the women, either directly or indirectly, who have been at the center of these things, and it's been pretty much unanimous. You know what? I needed to hear that.
Right.
And that's the outcome I think we're ultimately going for. I don't care if people like me or dislike me. They don't know me.
Of course not.
The people on this panel who actually I speak to regularly, who know me, that's who I care about. Whether or not I care about those people's opinions. Everybody else, cool, but keep it to yourself, because I do like to carry. But I just want you to know that, like, it amazes me how when guys tend to go in a certain direction with content, these glitches happen. I mean, my Instagram channel in the middle of a live stream was just accidentally deleted by Instagram.
What?
And they said, sorry about that. We didn't mean to do that. And I had to upload the message that YouTube sent me, and then to hear Abba and Preach, who keep it pretty clean, to hear that their channel has been effectively removed from the partner program. So that means all revenue, super chat, everything else.
God almighty. And Kevin, you said they keep it super clean, but I'm gonna tell you what, we've all watched. I don't know if the panel's watched the video. You've watched the video, and I've watched the video. And they kept it super clean language-wise, but they did not. And they even say in the video, "Hey, man, if you speak a certain way, you're gonna get, you're gonna get community strikes, deplatformed. There's no stuff like this." And I remember thinking while I was watching the video today, it's amazing that these guys are still on YouTube, and they are still on YouTube, but they have been quote unquote removed from the partner program. Kevin, listen, that's no coincidence, man. The reason they've been removed from the partner program is because they're too big a channel to be talking about what they're talking about. That's what it comes down to.
Well, I think Jordan Peterson was the first person everybody needs to kind of study. When he made his stance known about Canada's ruling on the pronoun usage regarding the quote-unquote alphabet community, Jordan Peterson says for the next 2 years, he had to endure. If you guys think what I've been going on is something, what that man had to endure was even worse. 2 years. He said scandal after this, after that. This is before going online with the interview with Kathy Newman, where it went mega viral. Before going on with the journalist on GQ. But this is kind of the rite of passage because he was more or less a tip of the spear on the online world. But if anybody on this side of the table, you know who's been doing this content for the longest. You know,
right.
Tom Likas was the forerunner to all this stuff. But what I'm ultimately saying is this. Usually it's one person. So it's easier to get rid of one person. But now it seems to be, it's becoming, I walk around and these are the things that may have been considered taboo to talk about are being talked about at Chick-fil-A.
Wow.
These things are when I walk and I see, and they're not just when I'm here looking at non-black people saying things that we say on this side openly. When I told you when I went to LA and I had, people taking photographs. I mean, I thought they were looking at someone else. No, they were looking at us. Men in that video when Auburn Preach said this is needed for the conversation because ultimately what it starts to bring is balance. And I'm going to juxtapose that with what happened on the Fresh and Fit podcast the other day.
Yep.
That conversation after 2 days of having a back and forth and even earlier that day going in one direction, it got a little bit more balanced when we could just vet ideas.
Right.
So, and that's what we need to get to because no one can tell me that this country or in the West, that we may be doing okay from a financial standpoint, but from a societal relational standpoint, this gender war is making all the Western powers weak.
Yes. And make no mistake, it is absolutely a gender war. A lot of people like to say, well, men and women get along just fine. No, men and women are not getting along just fine. And listen, what happened at the on the Fresh and Fit podcast after party, I think, and that, like Kevin, that was like two worlds colliding. You got this pretty dude, you got this pretty white girl freshly hit the wall. She's entitled. She's got party voice. I'm a half a man. And you absolutely and you cooked her medium rare, flipped her over, did it for another 20 seconds. It was a thing of beauty.
Well, and the fact that it was done with, of course, you guys know me. I don't curse. I don't go there. There were plenty of times where different racial sensitivities could have been brought into the conversation, but they were not needed. We don't have to. We have the facts, data, statistics, and actually the sense of right and wrong is more on this side.
Yep.
I got to say one thing, and I'm kind of leaning back over to the platform. If you guys study ancient Rome, there's a premise that part of the reason that Rome fell outside of the things we've been taught, overexpansion in the West, things like this. A part of the reason they think a lot of these powers dwindled was because of what I'm about to say.
Okay.
There was a writer called Cato, and he said, all mankind controls its women. We control all mankind. Our women rule us.
Wow.
That's what he wrote about world. The world, all mankind rules its women. We rule all mankind, meaning Rome. But in Rome, our women rule us. And that was, and within about 150 years, Rome had fallen.
Yep. Get thousands of hours of content not found anywhere on patreon.com/Donovan Sharp. Link in description.